I talked to a lot of first-time homebuyers here in Montgomery County, Maryland, who are so excited to close on their first home, but then a few months later, they are shocked by the hidden costs of owning a home. And it's not just because of job loss or emergencies. It's the everyday expenses of homeownership that we, even as realtors, don't talk too much about. And buyers, they don't always plan for it. So in this video, I'm breaking down the 5 biggest hidden costs of buying and owning a home here in Montgomery County, Maryland, and anywhere for that matter, and how to prepare so your dream home, it doesn't turn into a financial headache. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Patina Thomas, your go-to realtor here in the Washington, D.C. metro area. Let's get into today's videos. All right, first things first, property taxes. One of the biggest hidden costs of homeownership here in Montgomery County, Maryland is property taxes. Right now, the total tax return runs about 1.15% to about 1.35% of your home assessed value. And that's dependent on where in Montgomery County you live. For example, Rockville comes in around 1.16%, while Garrett Park is higher, closer to 1.36%. Here's a surprise for new homeowners. If you're buying new construction, the builder may have only been taxed on the land. So their bill might have been $800, right? But once the finished home is reassessed, your tax bill could jump to $6,000 or more, depending on the price point. The same thing happens with resale homes. If the seller had a tax exemption, like a senior discount, you won't qualify for those unless you're a senior. So your escrow can adjust upward in year 2, and suddenly your monthly payments, it jumps as well. So my advice for first-time home buyers, or all buyers for that matter, when you're buying in Montgomery County specifically, have your lender run your tax estimates based on the full assessed value, not just the seller's bill. That way you know the true cost of owning your home from day one. Another hidden cost of buying a home in Montgomery County is homeowners insurance. So premiums can creep up by $500 to $1,000 a year at renewal. Older Montgomery County homes with oil tanks, flat roofs, or basement that have had water issues can cost more to insure. So don't wait until closing to figure that out. Always get a quote while you're still under contract. And a tip here, don't buy at your very top of your loan approval. You want to leave some wiggle room in your budget for things like insurance increases and other rising costs of homeownership. All right, number 3, HOA and condo fees, my least favorite. So HOA and condo fees here in MoCo, it varies a lot. So many condos or townhomes in buildings with decent amenities, it costs around $200 to $600 a month, but luxury or high amenity buildings can push it higher. And these fees cover things like landscaping, pool or gym access, snow removal, sometimes building reserves for big repairs. And these fees usually cover things like trash, snow removal, and landscaping. But if the HOA is underfunded, expect sudden hikes or special assessments. I've seen fees jump from $250 to $400 a month when the reserves weren't enough for a roof replacement. So always review the HOA packet before you commit to purchasing that condo or home in an HOA. So look at the budget, the meeting notes, and any planned capital projects. Small bumps, they're normal, but a big increase can really affect your monthly cost of homeownership. Far too often, a lot of buyers, they just skim through those the HOA or condo docs. This is really where you should pay attention to that so you don't fall into the trap. So utilities and maintenance, they are often overlooked hidden costs when you go from renting to owning a home. A 2,500 square foot home in Rockville is gonna have a very different Pepco or Washington gas bill than a Silver Spring apartment. Heating, cooling, and water, they all add up very quickly. So a good rule of thumb is to budget 1 to 2% of your home's value per year for upkeeps. So if you buy a $600,000 home, set aside $6,000 to $12,000 annually. Because some years you won't necessarily spend it, but other years, like when the furnace dies, like when the furnace just won't work in February, you'll be glad you saved some money. This one isn't so common, but I've seen this a few times, more so with younger clients. So one of the biggest hidden costs of owning a home in Montgomery County isn't even a bill. It's relying on extra income to make the mortgage work. So I've seen buyers count on roommates or child support or family contributions to cover the payment. So it works until it doesn't. I've had a client panic when their roommate moved out and suddenly the mortgage was too much. So my rule, always make sure you can cover the mortgage with your own income. If the extra money comes in, great. That's bonus savings or travel money. But don't depend on it to keep a roof over your head. So those are the 5 biggest hidden costs of owning a home anywhere. Property taxes, homeowners insurance, HOA fees, utilities and upkeep, and relying on an extra income. So if you're a first-time homebuyer in Montgomery County, Maryland, or anywhere for that matter, planning for these costs will make your homeownership experience much smoother. Your home should be a joy, not a financial burden. And I've seen so many, especially as of late, I've seen so many videos on TikTok, Instagram, social media in general, of a lot of homeowners who are now regretting their purchase just because they didn't know or expect a lot of these things I just spoke about and more. There's so much more. Also, one very important thing I have to say, when you're buying a home, I really want you to understand every single thing about your mortgage. So having a really good mortgage lender in your back pocket or just on your team working with you, it is so important. I feel like that is more important than your realtor. And some realtors would fight me about that, but hey, fight me in the comments. But just having a really good lender in your corner, it really goes a long way. If you found this video helpful, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos like this one. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.